The all-new Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
And those were three of the alleged victims who accused Kellen Winslow II of sex crimes, including rape. Jury selection began today in the trial of Winslow. He's a former NFL star. He says he is innocent. My think tank back with me. All right, let me start out in San Diego, where we have Donald Schweitzer with us. He's a former prosecutor, criminal defense attorney out there. All right, give us a little thumbnail sketch of the jurors out there. Is this going to be an uphill battle for Kellen Winslow II, or the fact that he has that name going to help him? You got a lot of Charger fans who loved his father who may share some of that love with him.
Well, first of all, the Charger fans are back up in L.A., Vinny, so they're definitely not that.
You guys disowned them.
They did. Yes, but I tell you what, this is a conservative country here, okay? This is a lot like Orange County that's just a little bit north of us. There are pockets of areas where people are more defendant-oriented, but this part of the county is definitely a conservative pool.
All right. That's, Shondell, the fact that this is a conservative jury pool, right?
Right.
5 different accusers are coming in.
Yes.
Where does the defense start? Are they going to say each one of these women is lying? And ladies and gentlemen of San Diego County, you got to believe that they're all liars. There's only one person in this courtroom telling the truth. That's my client.
Well, it's not unprecedented. Of course, the Cosby defense was similar, basically alleging that the women are opportunistic. There is some type of profit motive. There's a delay in reporting, especially with, I believe, the victim who said she was 17 at the time. The question of why she didn't come forward earlier. And of course, we're living in an environment and a time right now where these issues have become very much on the forefront of most of these cases.
Especially in California. I mean, Hollywood is in the middle of all of this Me Too movement. And let me ask you, Joseph Scott Morgan, as an investigator, right? Some of these, as Shondell mentioned, you know, back in 2003, one of the accusers talked about something that happened back in 2003.
Right.
So you're not going to have the evidence that you might normally have.
Yeah, but not necessarily for her case. But my God, Vinny, we're talking about 5 different victims here, and this will be an evidence-rich environment. I cannot wait to watch this case, and this is why. You know, rape kits have been a big deal in the news over the past few years, where crime labs are having difficulty getting processed. There's backlogs. That's going to be put to the test in this case. We'll see if these were effectively collected and if they were effectively processed. And what evidence rises up from all of this? I can tell you from Jump Street that DNA is going to play a huge part in this case. And also we're going to hear about a group of people that that are not talked about a lot, and that's a group of people called SANE nurses, sexual assault nurse examiners. These are the people that primarily do these exams on women that have been assaulted like that. We'll probably see them come across the stand, and it will make for riveting television.
Donald Schweitzer joining us in San Diego, practices out there, knows this courthouse better than any of us. So what does the defense do here? Are they going to say consent for the forcible rapes, and then somebody else was exposing someone, and maybe the hot tub incident was misinterpreted by the... what are they going to do here? It's 5 different women accusers.
Yeah, I think that thank goodness for Mr. Winslow that he's got money, he's got the ability of hiring the very best attorneys, because it's going to take some real talent to convince people that he's not guilty. In this particular case, it cannot be that I didn't do it, right? There's got to be a consent type of a defense here, at least for a couple of these things. Now, some of these victims may not withstand, you know, the cross-examination, and that's where the real play is going to be in this case. Can they look as good as they did during the preliminary hearings? Now, this judge made already a call that we could all listen to. He said that at least one of them was very credible, and that's dangerous for this particular defendant. So, again, talented attorneys, picking the jury is going to be the essence of this case. Are they going to get the right people to buy in to their side of the argument? Let's see.
Shondell, who is the right type of juror for the defense here? What kind of person would be willing to having a super open mind and disbelieve 5 women?
I think I would choose men over women. I think in this environment, you would probably get more of a impartial juror from choosing men than women because of the Me Too environment. I also think that that could play against Winslow in that these victims are somewhat vulnerable. You're talking about a hitchhiker and a homeless woman. So the problem he's got is that there is a lot of evidence that's going to connect him to these women. So he can't say he wasn't there. He can't take the position that this wasn't me, they've got the wrong guy. They also have his GPS evidence showing that he was at the location where this occurred in a couple of those instances. So it is going to be a highly technical case, but I think men probably would be the best jurors. People who identify with him, African-American males, would be a good choice. And whether or not there is an abundance of those particular jurors in San Diego County, it's not
in the
like...
north part of the county. Let's ask Donald. Donald, do you agree with Shondell that that's the type of juror who might be the best for the defense? And if so, do they exist where they're choosing this jury?
They do. There are jurors that could be favorable to this defendant, but I don't agree that it's necessarily that it's going to be a male juror that's going to be good to him. I think each juror is going to have to be analyzed, and they're going to have to be listened to very carefully. As we watch the jury being picked, you'll start seeing the defenses come out, and then the key people, which are the defense attorneys, are going to be looking at how they're responding and what they're saying. But I'm going to say that in this particular case, it's going to be juror by juror. There's not any particular one profile that's going to make it for the defense in this case.
All right, Joseph Scott Morgan. Shondell mentioned GPS. Is that stuff reliable? Is that a way to put someone in a particular location?
You bet. Nowadays, they've got.
Is that better than an eyewitness?
I don't know about better than an eyewitness, but they can fine tune it to the point now where they will be able to place him in specific locations that's going to corroborate the story of these people. You know, to talk about what had actually happened. I just hope that they're going to be gentle with these witnesses. It's terrifying to me. These poor women have been violated so much, and you know, I can see you know, the knives coming out already. You know, thinking about what's the defense going to do in order to chop these women down, and I'd really hate to see that. But yeah, GPS evidence, it's going to put him on the spot.
Donald, you said we know there's a defense team out there. Do you have to be gentle with these accusers? I mean, they're accusing this man of forcible rape and other offenses. So, I mean, the accusations are really, you know, real and can send this guy away for life. But do you have to, you know, be gentle with the accusers?
I think that most of them you do have to be respectful, and you've got to be somewhat gentle. But then again, you've got somebody's life in your hands, and when it comes time to be assertive and to ask the tough questions and to expose weaknesses, that's what a defense attorney's got to do. And you're going to see that in this case. Some of these witnesses are not pristine. Unfortunately, people aren't, and some of them have backgrounds. Some of them initially met Mr. Winslow under a consensual type of meet, as I understand the evidence. So they're going to try to exploit that. And in doing that, that's where you're going to start seeing the roughness. In the case where there's a perfect stranger that's gardening, to be tough with somebody like that, you know, that would be crazy. But when you talk about a consensual initial encounter, I think that's where you're going to see some aggressiveness on the part of the defense.
All new Court TV, your front row seat to justice.